What if the ocean is not hiding life, but hiding monsters? Because 1,000 meters below the surface, past the reach of sunlight, there is a part of this planet that looks less like Earth and more like another dimension entirely. No light, no warmth, no mercy, just pressure so violent it could crush steel like paper, and creatures so twisted they look like evolution lost its mind. This place is called the Midnight Zone, and most of the ocean on Earth exists inside it, which means most of this planet is pitch black, and we still have almost no idea what is living down there. We have dropped submarines into the abyss, sent cameras dangling on cables miles long into darkness humans cannot survive in, dragged giant nets through freezing water hoping to catch something alive. And every time something comes back up, it looks wrong. Fish with transparent skin, eyes that glow in the dark, teeth too big to fit inside their own mouth. Creatures with glowing rods hanging from their head like a lantern built to lure victims straight to death. And the deeper scientists went, the worse it got, because the deep sea is not peaceful, it is war. Food is rare, light does not exist. Every movement matters. Every shadow could be a predator. And evolution did not create beautiful animals down there. It created killers, ambush predators, living traps, creatures built to stab, crush, poison, swallow, paralyze, or disappear before you even realize they were there. And tonight, we are going straight into the abyss. These are the 25 most dangerous deep-sea creatures you have to see. Number 25, the fang tooth. This thing looks like a monster somebody designed for a horror movie after staying awake for 3 straight days. A small black fish drifting through darkness with teeth so large they physically cannot fit inside its mouth. Seriously, its bottom fangs are so massive that its brain had to evolve special sockets just so the teeth had somewhere to go when the mouth closes. And somehow, this thing is real. The fang tooth lives thousands of feet below the surface, where sunlight completely disappears. Temperatures barely stay above freezing. Pressure is strong enough to destroy most submarines not built for deep-sea exploration, but the fang tooth survives perfectly down there. Its entire body is designed around one goal: catching food before something else does. Because in the deep sea, missing a meal could mean starving to death for weeks. So when the fang tooth attacks, it does not care what it bites. Fish, squid, crustaceans, smaller predators. If it moves, it becomes food. And despite the terrifying teeth, fang tooths are actually small, usually only around 6 inches long, which somehow makes them creepier. Because it means nature built this tiny animal to look like pure violence for absolutely no reason other than survival. And things only get worse from here. Number 24, the goblin shark. This thing looks unfinished. A pale pink body, floppy skin, tiny eyes, and a long blade-like snout sticking out from its face like a weapon. But the real nightmare starts when it feeds, because the goblin shark can launch its jaws forward out of its skull like a spring-loaded trap. Its mouth literally shoots outward faster than the human eye can fully track underwater. Imagine seeing a shark drift toward you slowly, and then suddenly its entire face explodes forward full of teeth. That is the goblin shark. Scientists call it a living fossil because it has barely changed in over 100 million years, which means this thing was hunting while dinosaurs were still alive. And honestly, it still looks prehistoric. Most goblin sharks live in deep water where light barely reaches. Their strange pink color comes from blood vessels visible through semi-transparent skin. So not only does it attack like a nightmare, it also looks half dead already. Number 23, the vampire squid. This creature sounds fake, but it is very real. And despite the name, it does not actually suck blood. It survives in oxygen-starved deep ocean zones where most animals would instantly suffocate. That alone makes it terrifying. Its body is dark red, almost black, with glowing blue eyes and a cape-like webbing connecting its arms together like some underwater demon cloak. When threatened, the vampire squid flips itself inside out. No, seriously, it curls backward and wraps itself in its own webbed arms, exposing rows of sharp-looking spikes called cirri. Imagine being deep underwater and watching something literally turn itself inside out in front of you. That is the kind of insanity living down there. And unlike fast predators, The vampire squid survives by floating silently through darkness, waiting for organic debris and dying animals to drift into reach, which somehow makes it feel even more alien. Because deep-sea survival is not always about strength. Sometimes it is just about enduring hell longer than everything else around you. Number 22, the giant isopod. This thing proves the ocean can take something harmless and somehow turn it into nightmare fuel. Because technically, this is just a sea bug, a giant underwater relative of the pill bug. But instead of being tiny, imagine one the size of a dog crawling across the ocean floor in complete darkness. That is the giant isopod. Its armored shell looks prehistoric, its legs move like a machine, and its black reflective eyes make it look like something grown in a laboratory. These creatures spend most of their lives scavenging dead animals that sink from above. Whales, fish, squid, anything. And because food is so rare, giant isopods can survive for years without eating. Years. Scientists once kept one in captivity that refused food for over 5 years and somehow stayed alive. That is not normal. That sounds like something designed to survive the apocalypse. Number 21, the stoplight loosejaw. This fish looks like evolution started experimenting and never stopped. Its mouth hangs open on a hinge so loose it looks disconnected from its skull entirely. Its teeth are needle-thin and transparent, and its body is jet black to help it disappear into darkness. But the craziest part is its eyes. The stoplight loosejaw can produce red bioluminescent light, and that matters because most deep-sea creatures cannot see red light at all. So this fish basically hunts using an invisible flashlight. Imagine a predator watching you in darkness while you have absolutely no idea it is there. That is what life in the deep sea is like. Constant paranoia, constant hunger, constant death, and we are only getting started. Number 20, the anglerfish. This thing became famous for a reason, because it genuinely looks evil. The anglerfish drifts through darkness, carrying its own glowing lure above its head like bait hanging from a fishing rod. Small fish see the light and swim toward it hoping for food. Instead, the anglerfish opens its mouth and disappears them whole. Its teeth curve inward like prison bars so prey cannot escape once trapped. Its body looks swollen and rotten. Its eyes are tiny because sight barely matters in complete darkness. Everything about it was built for ambush killing. But the most disturbing part might actually be reproduction. Male anglerfish are tiny compared to females. When a male finally finds one, he bites into her body permanently. Then his organs begin dissolving. Eventually, he fuses into her flesh completely until he basically becomes a parasite attached to her side for life. That is real. The deep sea is so empty and impossible to survive in that evolution decided the best mating strategy was body horror. And somehow that was more efficient. Number 19, the frilled shark. This thing looks like a sea serpent from an ancient myth. Long, eel-like body, primitive fins, rows of needle teeth arranged in endless layers. Scientists believe the frilled shark has existed in some form for around 80 million years, which means this thing survived asteroid impacts, mass extinctions, and entire species collapsing around it. And it still looks terrifying. Unlike modern sharks, the frilled shark attacks more like a snake. It lunges forward and traps prey using backward-pointing teeth designed to prevent escape. Most sightings happen deep underwater, where almost nobody ever sees them alive, which honestly feels correct. Some animals look like they belong hidden from humanity. The frilled shark is one of them, and the deeper we go, the more impossible these creatures become. Number 18. The barrel-eye fish. At first glance, this thing looks fake. Its head is transparent, literally transparent. The barrel-eye fish has a fluid-filled dome covering its skull so you can actually see its eyes rotating inside its head. Those glowing green eyes point upward, scanning for prey silhouetted against faint traces of light from above. Imagine evolution deciding the best survival strategy was making your forehead invisible. That is what the deep sea does. It forces life into forms so bizarre, they stop looking natural entirely. And somehow, every detail still serves a purpose. Nothing down there survives by accident. Number 17. The dragonfish. This creature looks like an alien weapon system drifting through darkness. Long black body, metallic teeth, bioluminescent organs glowing down its sides, and a mouth way too large for the rest of its body. The dragonfish hunts using light-producing organs that flash through darkness while it stalks prey from below. Some species can even produce red bioluminescent light invisible to most deep-sea creatures, which means this thing is hunting with invisible headlights. Again, the deep sea keeps creating predators that basically cheat, and somehow the dragonfish gets worse. Its teeth are nearly transparent to avoid reflecting light and exposing its position, meaning evolution optimized even its teeth for stealth killing. That is insane. Number 16, the black swallower. This thing exists because the deep sea rewards greed. The black swallower is a relatively small fish with one horrifying ability. It can swallow prey several times larger than itself whole. Not pieces, whole. Its stomach stretches outward like a nightmare balloon until the creature looks like it is going to explode. Scientists have found black swallowers floating dead after eating fish too large to digest properly. Imagine starving for so long that evolution turns you into an underwater gambling addict willing to choke itself to death for one giant meal. That is the deep sea. Every creature down there is one missed meal away from disaster. Number 15, the giant squid. For centuries, people thought this thing was a myth. Sailors described massive tentacles rising from black water, dragging ships into darkness, and everybody assumed they were drunk or losing their minds. Turns out they were probably telling the truth. Giant squid can grow over 40 feet long, with eyes the size of dinner plates built specifically to detect movement in near total darkness. Imagine seeing one of those eyes slowly turning toward you underwater. Their tentacles are lined with rotating hooks and suction cups capable of gripping prey with terrifying force. And the creepiest part is how little we still know about them. Most giant squid encounters happen accidentally. Dead bodies washing ashore, brief camera footage, half-eaten remains inside whale stomachs, which means somewhere in the darkness, these things are still out there drifting through water humans barely understand. Number 14, the colossal squid. Somehow nature looked at the giant squid and decided it was not horrifying enough, so it made a bigger version. The colossal squid is shorter than the giant squid, but much heavier and more aggressive. Its rotating hooks are sharper. Its body is thicker. Its eyes are the largest known eyes in the animal kingdom. Scientists believe they evolved those giant eyes specifically to detect sperm whales hunting nearby in darkness. Imagine needing basketball-sized eyes just to survive the monsters around you. That is the kind of environment the deep sea creates, a permanent arms race between nightmares. Number 13, the Pacific viperfish. This thing looks like a skeleton that learned how to swim. Long silver body, massive jaws, teeth so oversized they extend outside its mouth permanently. The viperfish attacks with explosive speed, launching upward from darkness to impale prey on its fangs before swallowing it whole. And because the deep sea apparently enjoys overkill, this creature also glows. Rows of bioluminescent organs line its body, helping it communicate, attract prey, and disappear into darkness. Imagine seeing tiny blue lights drifting toward you before realizing they belong to something with a mouthful of knives. Number 12, the bobbit worm. This thing is one of the most horrifying predators on Earth because it does not even look dangerous until it attacks. The bobbit worm hides buried beneath the ocean floor with only its antennae exposed. Then when prey swims overhead, it explodes upward with enough speed and force to slice fish completely in half. Some bobbit worms grow over 10 feet long, meaning there are giant underwater worms hiding beneath the sand, waiting to ambush anything stupid enough to pass overhead. The ocean really looked at horror movies and said, "Cute idea." Number 11, the Dumbo octopus. At first, this creature almost looks harmless. Soft body, tiny fins resembling elephant ears, slow drifting movement. But then you remember where it lives. The Dumbo octopus survives at depths deeper than almost every other octopus species on Earth. Pressure down there is catastrophic. Darkness is permanent. Food is rare. And despite looking gentle, this thing is still a predator perfectly adapted for one of the harshest environments on the planet. That is what makes the deep sea terrifying. Even the cute things survive hell. Number 10. The gulper eel. Imagine a mouth with a body attached to it. That is basically the gulper eel. Its jaws stretch outward into a massive, expandable pouch, capable of swallowing prey far larger than itself. Its tiny body trails behind it almost like an afterthought, and at the end of its tail sits a glowing, bioluminescent organ, waving through darkness like bait. Everything about this thing looks wrong, like evolution built it from leftover spare parts, and somehow it works perfectly. Number 9. The hatchet fish. This creature looks like living metal. Thin silver body, giant upward-facing eyes, rows of glowing organs covering its underside. The hatchet fish uses bioluminescence for camouflage by matching the faint light filtering from above, making it nearly invisible from below. Think about that. This fish evolved active stealth technology just to survive. The deep sea does not forgive weakness. Everything down there either adapts or disappears forever. Number 8. The megamouth shark. This thing looks like somebody crossed a whale with a black hole. The megamouth shark is enormous with a giant glowing mouth used to filter prey from darkness. And because sightings are so rare, scientists still know almost nothing about it. Imagine how terrifying an animal has to be for marine biologists to basically say, yeah, we still have no clue what this thing is doing down there. Number 7. The Greenland shark. This creature moves slowly, painfully slowly, but somehow that makes it creepier. Greenland sharks can live for over 400 years. Some of them swimming today were already alive before the United States even existed. Think about that. A predator drifting silently beneath Arctic waters for centuries, watching generations of life come and go. And because their flesh is toxic, even eating one can poison you. The ocean created a shark so ancient it basically feels immortal. Number 6. The cookie cutter shark. This thing is small, which makes what it does even more insane. Cookie cutter sharks attach themselves to larger animals and twist away chunks of flesh using rotating saw-like teeth, leaving perfectly circular wounds behind. Whales, dolphins, sharks. Even submarines have been found covered in bite marks from these things. Imagine being deep underwater and feeling something literally carve a chunk out of your body before disappearing back into darkness. Number 5. The Japanese spider crab. This thing looks like it escaped from the bottom level of hell. Legs stretching over 12 feet wide, long skeletal limbs, orange armored shell, and a face that genuinely looks ancient. These giant crabs crawl slowly across the ocean floor like underwater war machines, feeding on dead animals and anything else they can reach. Imagine seeing one emerge from darkness while diving. Absolutely not. Number 4. The sarcastic fringe head. The name sounds stupid until you see one attack. This fish has an enormous expandable mouth that explodes outward when threatened, making it look like its entire face opens into a nightmare. Two fringe heads fighting each other look less like fish and more like demons trying to swallow each other whole. The deep sea somehow found a way to make even tiny fish feel violent. Number 3. The pelican eel. This creature barely even looks alive. Massive expandable mouth, tiny eyes, thin whip-like body trailing through darkness forever. Its jaws open so wide it can consume prey, nearly its own size despite looking half-starved constantly. And the strangest part is that scientists still struggle to fully understand how it survives down there, which honestly says everything about the deep sea. We are studying a world we still barely understand. Number 2. The Sloane's viperfish. This thing looks like pure hatred turned into biology. Long silver-black body, teeth so oversized they curve past its eyes, a glowing lure hanging from its body, and one of the fastest strike speeds ever recorded in deep-sea predators. The viperfish floats motionless in darkness, waiting for movement, then suddenly explodes upward and impales prey before swallowing it whole. No warning, no escape, just violence from the black water. And finally, number 1. The megalodon, the king of prehistoric ocean terror, a shark so massive it makes great whites look small. Scientists estimate the megalodon reached lengths over 60 feet, with jaws powerful enough to crush whale bones like crackers. Imagine being trapped in ancient oceans, knowing something the size of a bus could rise from darkness beneath you at any second. And here is the truly terrifying part. We only know about the creatures that left evidence behind. Most deep-sea animals dissolve after death. Acid destroys their bones. Pressure erases their remains. Meaning for every nightmare predator we discovered, there are probably dozens worse that vanished forever, without leaving a trace. That is what makes the deep ocean so horrifying. Not just what we found, but what we have not found yet.